So let us say that I have 3i. So this is a purely imaginary number into 5. No big problem, this is 15i. Just multiply it like I was a variable. Just remember only one thing, I square is minus 1. That's all you need to remember. Root of minus 1 into root of minus 1 is minus 1. How can it be minus 1? What is this I? Don't ask that question because you will never find an answer. Okay, mathematics is not about is it natural, does it exist in the world? Nothing exists in the world. Number 3 doesn't exist in the world. You get used to it, it is very useful tool to understand the world. 3 is an extremely useful tool. But where is 3 in this universe? There are objects. There may be 3 balls here. Okay, but there is no 3. Because you can't pick 3 out of nature and say there is 3. You can put a symbol to that thing, that's an idea in your head. Okay, 3 itself is so bad. What about root 2? Root 2 is a number, a point on a number line. What number line? Where is the number line? There is no number line in the world. We draw it, we put numbers and we decide that must be root 2. Okay, because it's a constructed idea. All numbers are constructed. The question that you can ask is, are numbers, these constructed numbers, useful? Obviously, root 2 is a very useful idea. The same way, root of minus 1 is a very useful idea. It extends the number line into a number plane. Okay, so why should you only go like this and like this? Why don't you also go like that? So if I go like this, it will be called 2. If I go like that, it will be called 2i. Not the j and I, not the vector I. This is a complex number I. Okay, it's such a shame because they could have called it 2j. Life would have been simpler because that will be 2j and this is 2i, you are dropping the I. By the way, later when we get to, if you get to electrical engineering at some point, they will change this I to j because for them I is current. More important number for I is current. So therefore you don't want to confuse that. So but they use a lot of complex numbers. Okay. So I studied electrical engineering, so I know. Okay, for 4 years, I had to basically use J for everything. Not 4 years, 7 years. My PhD and all of that also. So J, okay, so if you look at this, basically everything becomes J. So after that, J is the root of minus 1. But anyway, it doesn't matter. This is, if you're going in this direction, it is 2i. So what is this? Well, you went this way and that way, just like with vectors. You're going to say that this number and this dot is 2 plus 2i. So don't think of I as root of minus 1. Think of what does minus do. Now, in the beginning when you learned minus itself, minus 1, minus 2, it would have been quite confusing. Probably you learned that if this is plus, minus basically turns. That is why minus of minus is plus. Correct? Because what is minus? Minus means turn around. Okay, turn around of turn around. Back to where I started. Okay, there's some small complexities there because you can't start that way, you will start this way. So what is minus 3? Start from 0 and go 3 there and then bounce back. Or minus 3. Turn around and then walk 3. Don't turn around and walk 3 plus 3. Turn around and walk 3 minus 3. Now complex number tells you don't turn around fully because one full turn around takes you there. What about if I need to turn and then turn and that takes me to a minus? If turn around itself was actually split into 2 pieces. So you say turn, turn. So what was the first turn? Root of minus 1. So what if I do turn, turn, turn? So don't do so what am I doing here? Left. You are not doing about turn. You are saying left. Left. What are 2 lefts together? Minus 1. What is 3 lefts together? Minus I. Because it's a minus left. It's actually a right. Right. So right should have been minus of left. Mathematicians very stingy, so we don't want to say right, we want to say minus left. And what about 4 lefts? Back to where we started. So no change. Okay. So real number left. So 2 lefts, basically left square gives me minus 1. So left is equal to root of minus 1. Finished. That is I. So one way to think about complex numbers is to say a complex number is a left turn. Okay, why can't you use right turn? You can. We now call it as I1, you can call it I1, or you can say it is minus I. Right turn is minus I. Somebody else may say, no, my left turn, instead of doing left turn, I'm going to do right turn. You'll get the same thing. They are using a different system. Just like you could have started off by saying, instead of saying this is X, you can say that is X. Okay, but convention will say that is X-axis, this is minus X-axis. And so we'll say this is I-axis and this is minus I-axis. Okay, right. So that means what is this? Go to, make a left, then go to. What about that? Go to, make a left, and then go 3. Okay, what about this? Make a about. So you use minus sign for about. Okay, and then go 3. So you're saying minus 3. Already you know how to use minus 3. Actually, left is easier than minus because you're only doing a left. Okay, then what do? Now from it looks like you're going that direction, right? But after you finish this, you come back to this because that is the correct direction. So always you come back to that. So now again you're going to do a 1 left and then you're going to walk up by 1. Or you could have said first make this, walk up, then go in this direction which is minus 3. Okay, but anyway, the basic idea is I can now write 2 plus 3i, I can write 2 minus 7i and so on. And then the question comes up, how do I multiply 2 plus 3i into 3 plus 4i? Do it like you would anyway do 2 plus 3x into 3 plus 4x. How will you multiply? 2 into 3, 6, 2 into 4i, 8i, 3i into 3, 9i, and 3i into 4i, 12i square, except with x square you are leaving it at x square. Now you are going to say I square is minus 1. And because this is minus 1, this fellow becomes 6 minus 12 minus 6 plus 17i. So you see you have come back, no I cap, it's just I. I cap is the vector notation and I cap is this direction, j cap is that direction. Okay. So anyway, so minus 6 plus 17i. Notice that it has come back to I. With quadratics or any x that would have been there, you would have been left with an x square term. It is like x square except the x square is minus 1. So it brings you back to real numbers. Makes this particular thing real. So it brings you back to something real plus I times something. It will bring you in this form. That means all of these multiplications will land back to look like a plus ib. Because after you square it, cube it, do whatever, that I square, I cube, etc. will either be I. See, look at this. I square is minus 1, I cube is minus I power 4 is 1, I power 5 is I, and so on. So you will never get anything different from 1 or minus 1 or I or minus I. I and minus I are the same kind. 1 and minus 1 is real. So it's also the same kind. So everything is either purely real or purely imaginary or a combination of real and imaginary. We call that complex. Okay, so that much is hopefully simple. Now the basic point to keep in mind is root of minus 9 will basically be, take the 9 out alone, root of 9 alone, so 3, root of minus 1 which is I. Root of minus 3 will be root 3, root of minus 1 is I. The main way to work with minus is minus 1 square is, minus and minus is plus. The main way to work with I square is minus 1. That's all. Really nothing else to it. Okay, overall. Of course, because you can convert it into this graphical form, there's a lot of stuff you can do with it, which we've learned. That's why I'm asking you to do the complex number course. If you did it fully, you will get this idea completely. Okay, so the interesting question is, okay, for root of -1, we had to invent a new symbol called I, because we didn't have any symbol on the real number line which gave us root of -1. Now somebody might wait and say, what about root of I? Maybe there is nothing that you can write in this plane, and so you might need to invent a new symbol, J. No, unfortunately you don't need to. Root of -1 will also be in terms of I. I'll give you an example. In fact, I'll tell you the answer. It will turn out to be, I think, 1 plus I by root 2. Let me just think for a second. Yes. Okay, what if you square this? 1 square gives me 1, I square gives me -1, so it will cancel out, plus 2 times I by 2, so this is anyway 0, so that gives me I. Okay, so root of I is 1 plus I by root 2, but I thought there must be two numbers that we can get. Well, if you put a minus sign to this and you square it, what will you get? Also I. So you could say plus minus. Oh, I thought we can only say root must be positive. But wait a minute. What is positive in 1 plus I by root 2? You can't say it's positive. Okay, so we'll have to define something better than saying positive. We will do that when we get to, I think we've already done that in the course. Okay, to talk about the principal value square root. But the basic point why the reason complex numbers became powerful was not just that it was a symbol for root of -1, it became something that allowed you to go into one more dimension, and then you didn't need anything more. It was complete. So for cube root it will work with complex numbers. For root of -1, of course, it's in I, but root of I was also in terms of I. So therefore you didn't need anything more. And so that's where we stay. So the number line system goes on all the way till there. Actually, there were a bunch of people who tried to invent another kind of number line system by adding a component like this. They found it didn't work very well, so they added 2 more components. So it's called the quaternion system. We won't study that at all. So it's not being used nowadays very much. There are some people now trying to, these video game makers are finding that quaternions are very useful for video games. Nobody thought that it will be.
What is I power I?
It also turns out to be something in terms of I. So you don't need anything more. Okay. So, but the quaternion allows you to do other things. But any simple combination of things that you can do, you already learned I in terms of polar form, e power minus pi by 2 I. You didn't do the complex number course. It will turn out, okay. So basically it will turn out to be a real number, by the way. So e power minus I pi by 2 or plus I pi by 2, doesn't matter. Cos pi by 2 plus I sin pi by 2. Yeah, it will be this. Power I, and so it will be e power minus pi by 2. So this will actually turn out to be e power minus pi by 2. So that means I power I is a real number. But you should not be surprised. I square is a real number. I power 4 is a real number. What is I power I? Actually, it doesn't make very much sense if you think of it. Turns out that if you can define it properly, it will turn out to be a real number. So you don't need anything more than the complex plane. While you can extend it to more complex ideas, but right now we don't need anything more. This is all about complex numbers, right? But let us think about one more thing, but here I am going to make a different assumption. What was the original assumption I made for this? A, B, C are real. Now what if A, B, C are integers? Now what is the symbol for real? R. What is the symbol for integers? Z. Actually I don't know why it's called Z, but anyway. Okay. Yeah, it must be some weird thing. But real number of course is R. Okay. So if you look at this, A, B, C are integers. So what is A? Integer, B integer, C integer. So this minus B is integer, this is also an integer. Will this be a rational number or not a rational number? It could be a rational number, but when will it be a rational number? Minus b by 2a is definitely a rational number. Plus minus root of delta by 2a. Now this is the rational part, but if root of delta is rational, that is if delta was a perfect square, but delta is b square minus 4ac, is it an integer? It's an integer. So this could be a perfect square or need not be a perfect square. If it was a perfect square, then this is rational. If it is not a perfect square, it is irrational. I'm assuming we're talking about real numbers solutions. Or it could be complex. It could be perfect square as minus 4. But then you'll have 4i, but we will not talk about that because we can't say 4 by 2i. Is it rational or irrational? Makes no sense because rational and irrational means it's real. Okay, once it's complex, we don't talk about it. So perfect square, we are going to talk about positive perfect square. So we will not use perfect square with a minus 4 as perfect square. We won't call that a perfect square. Okay. Anyway, so if it's a perfect square, that means this is rational. So we can now talk about rational roots or irrational roots. Suppose ABC were integers and one of the roots was 2 plus root 3. Where did this root 3 come from? It couldn't have come from here. It could only have come from there. So the other root must be 2 minus root 3. So if 2 plus root 3 is one root, 2 minus root 3 is other root. In some sense we can talk of them as conjugates. But they are not conjugates as in 2 plus 3i and 2 minus 3i. They are irrational conjugates. Okay? One of them was 2 plus root 3, the other one is 2 minus root 3. Suppose I tell you that one root was 3 by 7 minus 2 by 3 root 5. What is the other root? 3 by 7 plus 2 by 3 root 5. Okay? So it's very straightforward. Once you know one root and the root has a rational plus irrational part, the other one is rational, the minus the same irrational part. And that's also useful. Okay?